I just got a very special delivery and I want to show it to you and then we can discuss the plans that I have for this. I'm very excited. These are all from Knit Pro, by the way, not sponsored, although Knit Pro, if you want to sponsor me, I would be so down. I always use the aluminum ones because I like the slipperiness of metal needles. Chrome needles just, basically they give me an allergy after prolonged use. Like if I use them for 10 minutes, I'll be fine. But if I use them for hours, which you tend to do with knitting needles, they do give me a little rash on my fingers. Got myself a bunch of double pointed needles. I got 325. I got 275 and I have 225. So the reason I got these is because I want to try my hand at sock knitting. Have I ever knit a sock? I have not, but honestly, I've wanted to learn how to knit socks for a very long time. So my plan for this video is to show you kind of like the process of me trying to knit my first pair of socks. So I've got my needles ready. So now I need to figure out what pattern I'm going to use and what yarn to use for that pattern.
It's the next day, so I'm having a bit of a pain day, which means I have to sit on the sofa and rest. So I think these are the perfect conditions to like start on my socks. So I'm gonna gather some materials and head on over to my sofa. So basically yesterday I did have a look online to kind of find either a pattern or a tutorial. I'm a very visual learner, so I find it easier to learn via tutorial video. So I found the tutorial I'm going to follow. So the video that I'm using is the how to knit a sock with DPNs. I think that's literally what it's called. It's by Crazy Sock Lady. I will link the video below. What's up, bud? Do you wanna hang out with me? I'll move a little bit. Come on. Right, so I've got my tutorial. These are the needles that she's also using. These are the Knit Pro 2.25 millimeter needles. I have this little bag full of what I think is fingering weight yarn. I don't know. I think it's yarn that I would use with these needles. I don't know. I'm not really sure about yarn weights. That's something that still kind of confuses me. But yeah, I have a bunch of this. I have these two. I have a little bit of this darker blue, navy, a little bit of pink, yellow, lavender, white, and red. I really like this yarn for sweaters. This is acrylic, so I know that's not the best for socks, but I don't think these are gonna be the best socks I've ever made. They'll probably be the worst socks I've ever made because I've never made a pair of socks. So I think I'll use what I have just to kind of get to grips with the concepts and with the techniques. And then once I figure it out, I can actually invest in better quality sock yarn. You know, I think I'm gonna go with this blue because I feel like it. Oh, she does do something that I don't know how to do. In the video, she uses a long tail cast on and I've never done that. So I'm gonna go Google how to do that and then we will reconvene. It looks really silly so far. Sort of make it into a square and all my stitches have to face the same direction, which is how you have to knit hats too, so you don't get twisted stitches. My working yarn right now is here. Like obviously they're not joined yet, but I think the next thing I do, instead of turning and working that way, as you would if you were knitting flat, you're just gonna like work this way. I believe that's how it works. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it correctly though. I'm in the round. So I believe now I'm just gonna keep doing the rib. I'm not sure how many rounds. I just finished the cuff of the sock. And I find this whenever I use DPNs that when you're first knitting, when you first cast on or pick up your stitches or whatever, it feels very, very fiddly. And then once I start working on it and I kind of get into the groove of it, I kind of settle in and figure it out. So I think it's the 4-needle thing is a lot easier as you get going. And now I have to start knitting like plain. What the tutorial says is to knit 59 rows and then we'll do something else. I think I need to like be watching and doing after the 59 rows, but until then it's just knitting plain. And because this is in the round, I don't even have to do purl rows. It's just like knit, 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 knit. I'm gonna use the method that she mentions in her video, which is to use stitch markers every 10 rows to make counting easier. All right, well, I have done this much on my sock. I'm like on row like 47 or something. So I have a little bit still to go on the leg until I actually start the heel. It's fun. It goes by pretty quickly, and also it's like kind of nice mindless knitting. It's also very small, which I think is going to be very cool for like a portable project that I can take with me. So I'm very excited to keep working on it. But today, right now, is like the end of my work day. I know, bud. What do you want? You can't lay on my legs today. My leg's in pain, and he thinks that if he lays on it, it'll feel better, but it won't. It will hurt. So I'm gonna put this to the side for today. It's been a few days and I finished knitting up to the point where we're gonna start on the heel flap. And also I made this, I'm very excited about it. It's sort of like a pencil case, but has a couple snaps. It's still very much a prototype. I put my DPNs in here like that and then close the snaps. And that way they're not like getting lost in my bag. They're not like poking anyone, me specifically. But yes, this is going well. I think it's turning out very long, and I don't know, like I've never knit a sock, so I don't know. Are socks normally this big? Like it's the size of my head already. I don't know, am I just really small? Am I hobbit sized? I don't know if I'm making the wrong size. I don't know. They seem too thick to me. Even though this is like probably the wrong yarn to do this. Every round I knit, I'm more sure that this is the wrong size for me. But you know what? I'm having so much fun knitting these that I really don't care. Apparently we're moving all of the stitches of the heel flap, like needle 3 and 4, onto one needle because that's apparently easier. Remains to be seen. First is slipping, slip 1, knit 1, and now I'm going to find out what happens next. It's the next day, and I have finished that part of the heel flap that I was doing. This is what it looks like on the inside, and this is what it looks like on the outside. So I need to figure out what to do next.
basically, now we are decreasing, I think. I'm not sure, but we're working still on, I think she called it the heel turn. Okay, I have knitted the bit we were working on, which was the heel turn, and like, that's so cool. Look at it. It's like a little triangle. That's very cool. Okay, I'm gonna go follow the tutorial for what happens next. All right, it's the next day, and I got a little carried away with my sock. Okay. I was watching the figure skating Olympics last night, so I kind of got carried away watching and knitting my sock and not filming. It's looking like a sock. I'm working on the foot now. Yesterday when I started, I'd finished this bit, which is the heel flap. So I started doing this bit here, this like triangular bit, which is the heel turn. And then we pick up the stitches from here. And then you start doing these decreases until you kind of get back to a circular place, if that makes sense. And now I'm like knitting around until I have like a certain measurement, which depends on like the size of your foot, basically. I only have this much yarn left, which I think will be enough to knit the end of the sock, but definitely not enough to knit the second sock. Finished knitting the sock. Oh, it's a sock. I ran out of yarn towards the end. I had to use something else. It's the same yarn, but it's just different color. And I think that looks kind of cute actually, so I'm not mad about it. And I've woven in my ends and everything. So I'm gonna try it on for the first time. Oh my God. Oh my God, I like it. I don't know. I think it's like quite thick. I don't know how it will work with shoes on. It is pretty comfortable. I probably should remove the stitch markers, but I'm gonna leave them on until I knit my other sock. I think I'm actually just gonna make like a matching sock. It's not gonna match because obviously I don't have any more of this color. And these will probably be like at-home socks. I think they're like a little bit big here. And they are like, there's a little bit of whatever this is going on. I don't know how I would fix that. Okay. It's nice though, right? You can't feel the seams or anything because there aren't any seams. I think now it's time to cast on the next one. those are my first knitted socks. I have a lot of thoughts about this project actually. Some things I think are awesome and I think I'm really happy with, and then some things I'm like, there's room for improvement here. Let's go with the good things first. I found the sock knitting itself very fun. It's kind of mindless, where you can just kind of do it without paying that much attention to it. I think it would be a really good project to travel with. Basically, apart from the places where you're doing like increases and decreases, the heel and the toe, the rest of it is just a tube. There wasn't a stitch that I didn't know how to do. I maybe hadn't used the stitches in that way before, but I knew how to do all of it. So I found the knitting itself really nice, really chill. Sometimes it's really fun to have projects that are very hands-on, that are very like you're following color work charts, you're following cabling charts, and you're like really have to be, you know, thinking about it. Those projects are very satisfying and are very fun in a different way. And I think this type of project, something that is quick and easy and you don't really have to think about it too much, I think those knits are fun and satisfying in a different way. So this one was very fun and satisfying in that kind of more chill way. I think the two colors are really fun. I'm not usually a mismatched sock person, but I'm like leaning into it and I feel very cool when I'm wearing them. They are pretty comfortable. I slept in them, actually more comfortable than usual commercial socks. The fact that the white toe isn't the same on both is a little more like funny than, it doesn't really bother me because like no one's going to see it. These were my first socks. Of course they're silly and like mismatched and weird. Oh, and the fact that there is no seam along the toe is the best feeling in the world. This is gonna be my new thing. I'm gonna be a sock knitter. I don't know how to tell you. I definitely feel like from one sock to the other, I made improvements. On the first one, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm not really confidently doing it. But on the second one, I'm like, okay, I know what the plan is. I know what's happening. So I feel like I was using my more regular tension, which is a little bit on the tighter side. So I think the purple one is like a better tension, and I think I like that sock better than the other one. As I knit more socks, I will get better at it. What a revelation. I don't think this is like the absolute worst sock knitting yarn. I definitely think there's much better options out there. So I think there's definitely room for improvement there as well. The other thing I think is about the pattern. I think I'm gonna try doing the same pattern but sizing down. I feel like there's just a lot of fabric, you know? I definitely want to make the leg shorter because these are a little bit too long. The length of the foot is fine. That you always do to whatever length your foot is. I need to explore. I want to explore. I feel very excited about this because I feel like there's all these like variables that I need to figure out, and I find that very exciting. So let me know if this was like fun for you, if you enjoyed exploring sock knitting with me. That is it from me for today. I've talked for long enough. As always, if you haven't already, you should consider subscribing to my channel. I post a new video every other Friday. And you should also consider following me on Instagram or TikTok. I post on there a little bit more regularly. Oh, and you can also support me on Ko-fi, either by leaving me a tip or purchasing my sewing planner. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.